This is One on One with Jasper Cole, Hollywood's bad guy, and so much more. Actor, talent manager, producer, and more. Now he's sitting down with today's top newsmakers from entertainment, politics, pop culture, and beyond. This is One on One with Jasper Cole.
All right. Howdy. And welcome everyone to One on One with Mr. Jasper Cole. This is he, and we are coming to you live from Sunset Gower Studios right here in Hollywood, California. Well, of course, it's our last Wednesday of the month, and that means we are in the shallow room because it's going to be an all hot topics day. And I am joined by my hot topics co-host, Mr. Ralph Cole Jr.
Hello, Planet Eartha, and hello, Jasper.
Hey, Ralph, how are you?
I am excellent. I'm glad we got to chat a little bit in the green room before we came on into the studio. By the way, JW, the green room, I love the redecorating changes you guys have made. I love that splash of orange.
Oh, well, thank you. It's of course
It's in
inspired
your
by
honor,
you.
Ralph.
Well, I couldn't help but think that, I maybe had a little bit of influence to that.
Yeah,
so I am
of
going to take a
course.
little bit of credit for that. Thank you.
Grr, you got it.
Yeah.
Well,
and
listen, that other voice you hear is our wonderful producer, Mr. John Williams.
Hello.
John.
Hi.
Hey,
How are
JW.
Happy to be here, guys. How are you?
I'm totally fine. We couldn't do the show without JW Planet Eartha. You all should know that because JW is fierce at what he does. And Jasper and I really fare better when we're able to just sit back and communicate with the planet. Yeah.
Well, I'm actually a hologram today. I'm actually not even here. I'm
You
sort
and
of
Whitney
like-
Houston and
I'm
Christina
sort of like-
Aguilera.
Wait, yeah, my family actually approved of the hologram, and they're allowing this to take place today. Unlike
Well, it looks just
Whitney.
like Jasper to me. I don't know what everybody's complaining about.
With the walker or without?
Yeah, listen.
I'm without the walker. Yes. Well, not to bring it back to my back surgery. However, this is my 3 weeks ago today. In fact, I had my surgery, and I highly recommend it for everyone. No, I'm kidding.
No,
but
it was
no,
life-changing.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling
Well,
good.
no, you were joking, but you know what? You brought a lot of seriousness to that when you said the other day it's the best thing you had done for yourself.
And I almost, and this is the truth I want to say to anyone, I almost waited too long. So for anyone who has back problems, disc problems, when the doctor's telling you, let's take care of this, because you can reach a point where it will be too far gone and you won't be a candidate for that surgery anymore. And then you'll be stuck with some of the old fashioned surgeries, because the new stuff now, like being able to replace a whole disc like I was able to do, is something relatively new. But if you don't do it, quickly within a certain amount of time, they can't. If the damage is too great, they can't do it. So, and honestly, with me, it was much worse once they got in. I love how the doctors tell you the next morning, by the way, it was just so much worse when we got in there than we thought, that, you really were cutting it right to the edge. So anyway,
Well,
glad
you are cutting edge.
Oh, thank you, Ralph. Well, listen, we're going to be joined today. We have a very special guest that's going to be joining us, a reality star and gossip queen herself, international reality star, Gloria Govan is going to be joining us.
Yes.
And I think our co-producer, Mr. Dominic Friesen, is also coming in. And in the meantime, I'd like to encourage everyone to please go to our Facebook page at One on One with Jasper Cole. And Twitter is at OneOnOneJCole. And the website, jaspercole.com. And when you go to our website, you can also click on ubnradio.com, because we have some amazing sponsors. And we have a lot of them. We have over like 25 of them. And JW is going to tell you who they are right now.
All of us here at One on One with Jasper Cole are proud to announce our 25 affiliate advertisers, and they are all .coms. eFile, Interserver, ZipRecruiter, Hilton Hotels, 3-Day Blinds, Adam and Eve Toys, Bullguard, Prime Slots, Russell Stover, Booking.com, Suzanne Summers Bath and Beauty, Quest Nutrition, Sur La Table, and Extended Stay America.
Additionally, we have EUK Host, Canvas World, Cheap Air, 21st Century, Liberty Mutual, Course Smart, Advanced Auto, Fandango, Meet Mindful, Flair Play, and Jewelry.com. Thanks again to all of our wonderful sponsors. And now back to the show.
Oh, absolutely. So everyone, please go on to ubnradio.com and find something you like and click on it. And we want to give a big shout out to WROM, to all of our listeners in Detroit. Detroit's #1 radio station as a group, a part of the Universal Musical Group. And we're doing great there, by the way. Our ratings are wonderful, so we want to give a shout out. Now, we're also very happy to announce that you can also listen to our show on iHeartRadio. That's been added to the listener list, along with iTunes and Stitcher. And where else? Am I forgetting one? Spreaker?
Yep, you got it. Spreaker.
Yeah, yeah. So we're all over the place. And, we still have a YouTube channel, and you can find us there. And Ralph, tell everyone where they can follow you on Twitter and Facebook.
Thank you. On Twitter, I'm Ralph Cole Jr., RalphCole Jr. I'm an enthusiastic participant on Facebook with the same name. And you can follow me at Instagram, the same name, Ralph Cole Jr. I make it easy.
Yes, Ralph is easy and breezy. And by the way, how's married life going?
Married life is absolutely fabulous. It is just superb. So far, so good. And thank you for asking.
And a big shout out to Michael, because Ralph's husband, Michael, just like me, is a huge reality fan. And because, people give me a hard time and they give me shit about being such a shallow reality person, like, an Andy Cohen, sycophant. I love all the reality shows. So I liked Michael already when I met him, but the fact that he also watches all the Bravo shows.
He records them.
Oh, of course.
He records them. Yeah, and that's why, and I have to boomerang it to myself or the show, and I want Gloria to get a load of what I can be about, so she'll know what she'll be working with when she comes on. So when Carlise Burke from Crowded on NBC, when she took me to that James Burrow tribute, what a thrill that was to get to hobnob with all the the people in the industry like that.
And Andy Cohen, who was sitting right behind you or right next to you or whatever.
Well, yeah, and he was one of the presenters during the presentation, and it was just nice to be in that venue. And even though I don't know Andy and we had never met, I felt comfortable enough because of his on-camera persona to introduce myself and let him know how much my spouse and I enjoyed him. And he was very humbled and very appreciative of that.
Oh, really? Is that how he came off?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's good. He's also a good actor, apparently.
Oh,
so
well,
good.
Well, kind of like you are, because you're constantly coming off as a healer, and and we all know that that's really, really far from the truth. Yeah. So
well, it's interesting how many psychic readings I've had, including one that JW participated in. And I think he heard the exact same thing. That what is the word? We're
empath.
Empath, which means we're so empathetic to other people's feelings that we actually take on their hurts and their pains.
Yep.
And it's just a God-given gift.
Sometimes consciously or unconsciously. So, sometimes you can.
Yeah, and that's why we want to talk today about all this shallow shit that's going on in show business, right? I don't even know where to start, first of all, because there's so much. I don't know about you, Ralph. I'm just so politicked out. If I hear Donald Trump one more time, I'm going to kill myself. So I don't know. What do you think about him?
Well, me, you're asking? Okay. When we were on the show last time with Dara, and a shout out to the wonderful Dara Zane Scully, please. I was always raised to not discuss politics publicly. And I like that. And the whole thing is a big folderol to me, no matter who we listen to. And yes, I already have voted, and I am not apathetic, but it's just very hard to swallow the rhetoric from all sides, just based on where we are in the world right now. And I know there are a lot of great things. I'm still talking, but sometimes you can't, when you're looking across and you're looking right at me, you'll still start talking anyway, which is weird to me. But anyway,
Yeah,
with
you know
all-
what?
yeah.
I'm the one on pain pills, bitch, and I haven't said a word yet. So you just go. You continue right ahead to what I haven't really understood. You said some big word. You just used a word earlier. I don't even know what it meant.
Apathetic. You said apathetic.
You said it something, affiliation, apathetic, or I don't know, whatever. You voted, absentee. Yeah, okay.
Absenteeism. Okay, Harriet Tubman. Listen, it is like you are all numb from the head up, girl, from the neck up. Okay.
I just simply said, "What do you think of Donald Trump?" And so I didn't know we were going to get into.
You didn't really want to know, Ralph. You didn't.
The remake of Roots or whatever.
You just wanted a soundbite.
Okay, I know. I was about to say I have to really learn to give my answers in sound bites. Okay, don't like him. Moving on.
Okay, thank you. My point was, I thought we would talk about. I was going to try to see if it was okay if we avoided politics because it's such a clusterfuck right now, and I'd like to say once we get to the general election and we know who the two people running, then then we can talk more about that because that's going to be a nightmare anyway. But I don't know about you because Ralph is a Wendy Williams fan like I am. I get all my show business news from Wendy Williams, but today, back in the news, of course, is the whole Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby's probably been so happy that this between airplanes going down and the politics and whatever, his black ass has been off the news lately. But apparently, as of yesterday, he now is going to have to stand trial in that one case in Pennsylvania. But I was fascinated today. I don't know, Ralph, if you heard Wendy Williams, but she told a story about had to be in the 90s when she was working for 98.7 KISS FM. That was the big radio station in New York, and a lot of people don't know, but that's where Wendy came from. She was the entertainment chick on the radio, and I guess they had her doing the traffic report. She was like the traffic girl in the mornings, but she started talking about Bill Cosby one morning back then, rumors that she had heard about him and the way he was treating women. And this is when the show was at the height of its success or whatever. And she gets called into her general manager's office and says, you got to get on the phone and call Bill Cosby right now because he wants us to fire you. And she had to get on the phone, and he started that whole I'm Dr. Cosby, and you need to represent black people better, and you're so ghetto, and who are you to be talking about me? And her basic message today was almost like, fuck you, karma is a bitch. Because,
Totally.
here you were trying to preach to me and almost and luckily she didn't get fired. But the funny part is now all these years later, karma has finally, bitten him in the ass, so to speak.
Well, yeah, and based on where her stature is and her persona, she was totally fabulous in her presentation because she started out by saying, I totally supported Bill Cosby. I liked him, and it is very tragic what has happened. Now, I'm going to just tell you what happened. And so for her to get her due, so when she ended the thing and said, and you know what, Bill? I'll still be talking. So, yeah.
Basically, she wanted to say, I've been renewed through 2020, bitch.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she said he read her. Bill Cosby called her manager and read him for an hour. Then the manager called Wendy, and then Bill Cosby read her for an hour. So it is and he did the same thing, not in such a long way, to Wanda Sykes during an award show years ago. And totally.
Well, remember he started that whole thing on Oprah years back. He was the one that was so against all the rappers and the lyrics. They were, the negative lyrics against women, and that is sort of like what you talked about with the people that preach all the time are the ones that are,
exactly
usually the scariest. But I'm just so first of all, I'm thrilled that this is a female judge. I mean, first of all, there's no guarantee he's going to be found guilty. He could still be acquitted. I mean, he's done for regardless. But I love the fact that this is a female judge, at least, that's doing this case. And I also love the fact that the woman that is on trial now, she still got her big settlement years ago. So he already had to pay her millions, thinking that this was going to go away. So just the fact that this all came back full circle in the news it was great. I thought it was a perfect thing. And I also love the fact that this whole time Wendy has waited till now to tell this story, because she's talked about the Bill Cosby thing for the last 6 months, but she waited till now to tell that story, which I had not heard before, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, good for her.
Yeah. And then Ralph, you had mentioned earlier this the whole Kelly Ripa Michael Strahan thing, because that's another example where now that is a show I actually don't watch. I mean, I have watched it over the years. I kind of haven't watched it since Michael came on the show.
Okay.
but I did know through just being a part of this business that, like you, everyone seemed to love them and the ratings were amazing, but apparently they didn't get along, and also apparently Gelman, the producer who's been there forever, and Michael didn't get along. But I don't know. Part of me was like, bitch, please. I would sit with Hitler for 40 minutes she's making like $40 million a year. Her name is above the title. She's the star. Why did she really give a shit if Michael Strahan was leaving? I was more unimpressed with how she handled the whole thing than anything.
Well, especially when we find out that they don't like each other off screen anyway. If that's really true, that they really don't care for each other, her histrionics are kind of like over dramatic. And Joy Behar was just quoted 10 hours ago saying, "Girl, why are you all been out of shape?" It's like, I've been fired so many times without knowing anything. It is called show business, not show therapy. So.
Well, yeah, and especially since, like I said, she's the queen. I mean, it's not like it was live with Michael and Kelly, and they were, you know what I mean. And the fact that well, here's my whole thing. Her best friends are Andy Cohen and Anderson Cooper. Okay, now I'm hypocritical because I like Andy Cohen's shows, but I find him so thirsty for fame and so obnoxious and so annoying. However, I still watch him, but I find it weird that Anderson Cooper, who I find to be very intelligent or whatever, that they do that two-man show together out on the road together. And I'm thinking, when your best friends are Kelly Ripa, Andy Cohen, and Anderson Cooper, those have to be some three shallow bitches when they get together. I mean, do you know what I'm saying? Come on, seriously.
Well, I love how it was so strategic how when they were filming Kelly going to the show the first day back after her little hiatus, and she strategically had Anderson Cooper's book under her arm. I thought, God, how fun that is. It's like, because on the phone or texting, it's like, girl, you have to have my book under your arm, girl. Okay? Work that out as you want.
It's all completely planned out. But are people also forgetting that Anderson had a daytime talk show that failed? I mean, he had a daytime talk show 2 seasons ago that only made it 1 season. So, I mean, he's great at CNN and what he does, and I really like him. But this whole time they keep throwing his name into the ring for being, her co-host. I'm thinking, okay, well, he already didn't make it on his own, but whatever. But honestly, I never got the Michael Strahan thing because, one, I'm not a sports person, so I didn't know. All I know is at the time he came on board, let's not forget he was accused of beating up Nicole Murphy, his girlfriend at the time, which I always thought was very interesting that, he was divorced from one wife and then he was accused of beating up his current girlfriend, but somehow suddenly middle America embraced him in the mornings, and
now he's going to be coupled with like this tiny little white woman that he could like snap in his palm of his hand.
And additionally, he's also going to be hosting the Pyramid Show, a game show,
which they're bringing back the $100,000 pyramid.
Yeah,
Producer on that show though too.
So
Yeah.
Gloria is with us now. She just
Oh,
joined us.
hey.
Hi, honey.
Oh my goodness. Hey, Gloria, it's Jasper and Ralph. How are you?
Hi, fellas. I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Welcome. Thank you so much for
Oh,
joining
thank
us
you.
today.
I've been listening. You guys are hilarious.
Well, thank you.
Well, to
we
our
were
ho-
just, go ahead, Ralph.
Oh no, it's your show.
Nice.
Well, even though my name's on it, it's really your show. Continue.
Well, yeah, you absolutely are right. Well, with our hilarity, Gloria, goes to your beauty.
Oh, thank
Because
you.
that photo of you with the shoulderless piece, and you were so gorgeous. I just
Oh,
wanted to
thank
start
you.
the show with that.
Oh, thanks, Ann. I really appreciate that, and I appreciate your guys' honesty. Not in terms of my beauty. I didn't mean to be like, yeah, because I am cute. But I was saying because I was listening.
That too, yeah. Uh-huh.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you for having me on the show. I'm really excited to be here.
Well, no, this is great. This is because this is our once a month hot topics. But I mean,
Oh, cool.
you're aside from being a reality star and being a guest yourself, you do that. You interview people yourself.
I do,
And
yeah.
this is what you do. So I always find it. How is it for you when you're on the other side? You know what I mean? When you're the actual person being interviewed and not actually being the interviewee. Is that different?
It is very different. I actually enjoy both sides. I love hearing people's opinion, and I feel like I'm so opinionated that I love when people give me an opportunity to actually let my voice be heard. So it's a lot of fun, actually. I kind of prefer sometimes being behind the camera, just because majority of the time I really don't look as glamorous as those pictures are. So I like actually being able to, kind of just be chill and just really get people's opinion on, some of the hot topics and what's going on.
Of course. Now tell everyone where they can, first of all, follow you on social media and all that good stuff.
Oh, sure. All my Twitter handles or social media feed handles are the same, and they're at Glow, Glo, Govan, Govan. And that's everything.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm
That's
real
easy.
simple.
Makes
Yeah,
it
exactly.
easy.
I just kept it real simple, really for myself, because I always forget my passwords. I'm always like, what was that again? So I just did everything the same.
Well, we were talking earlier. I mentioned that how I'm such a big reality show person.
Are you?
I really attribute. I say, and this is not I don't feel I need to defend it or whatever, but because I'm an actor and I do scripted stuff for a living, I think because I don't do reality for a living, it's the one thing that I don't know, so I don't know how it all works or whatever. That's why I think I enjoy watching it, because sometimes when it's hard to watch a movie or a scripted show because all you can think about is how long did it take to shoot that and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Had you been a reality fan yourself before actually doing Basketball Wives?
Actually, I think so. I think I was really. But at the time it was more like Road Rules and more like MTV type of reality.
That's where it all
shows.
started, though.
Yeah,
Una Murray.
So,
Right.
Exactly. So I think the Kardashians. So it was definitely I kept kind of track of some reality show, but it was weird. I feel like at the time it wasn't really titled or categorized as like reality. Is that So
Yeah.
when people were like, oh, do you ever watch reality shows? I'm like, no, and then I'm like, oh snap, it is actually. So I did. I kind of, a lot of the times when I did get a chance to watch TV, I would kind of catch up on reality shows. So.
Well, that's interesting. Because we're all probably in the same age group. What did they call those shows? I can't even remember now. Like
I feel like it was just like, was it? It wasn't.
They just called it Real Life Series, I think.
Real Life.
Yeah.
Real life.
Yeah.
Real life. Yeah.
Because I
that's
think
like
I think a lot of people say the Osbournes were sort of the original.
Well, Real World was before the Osbourne.
reality.
Yeah. But the Osbournes was probably like one of your first family ones.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
real
yes.
family, not like a put together, casted family
Yeah.
like Real World was. But Osbournes was definitely, I definitely tuned into that just because Ozzy was hilarious, and him, and
Oh my God.
not anymore, but
I know. That's a good segue. Do you guys know about today? I don't know if you heard this latest with Kelly Osbourne's tweet to the actual girlfriend.
Yeah,
well,
the hairdresser girl.
whatever she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
About
hilarious.
if you need a good blowout and a blowjob, here's the phone
Oh.
number.
And she gave her real number too, which was great. And I was like, I loved it. I was like, as like a sister and, obviously like a daughter, I would do the same for my mom. I'd probably go even harder and give her like
Further.
Yeah, exactly. And I'd post a picture and her address probably. Like I'd be like, in case you want a personal one, But I love that she defended her. Just I guess kind of came to her mom's rescue and blasted her. That was awesome.
Well, and I even love the fact Sharon Osbourne. I love Sharon anyway. I know a
she's
lot of
so
people either love or hate her, but I love her on the talk because she's had to really put it out there of what's been happening. But today, she actually addressed what Kelly did, and she said, she's got a great sense of humor. She loves her parents, and basically that was her way of saying, fuck you, bitch, you
Right.
deserve it. But I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with. It's funny because Sharon's always been really honest about
their
that
relationship.
marriage has been kind of open in a weird way anyway. But something really, I think, was really. He crossed the line in some way different this time, I guess. In terms of she was more humiliated or something. I don't know what the full story is yet on that. So, but. We'll find out. Because one thing I like about her, she'll eventually tell the whole story.
Yeah, I love how transparent she is. It really gives her a sense of like humanity, and I love that.
Yes.
That she just doesn't hold back at all. And it is humiliating for her, but I feel like as soon as she kind of puts it out there, people really start to identify with her and really start to just really, either agree with her or disagree with her. But I think if anything, everybody can appreciate how honest she is. Like that's real, It's like lemonade.
And that's what those are the celebrities. That's why I like Wendy Williams. I don't know. I like people, even people that I don't agree a lot with. I like people who just stick to, even if I don't agree with what they're saying, but they don't back down and they stick to their truth.
Yeah.
Because this business, show business, is so full of just pretentious, phony shit that I'm so like excited when I meet someone that actually will just say this is the way it is and not hide behind the publicist and all that stuff. I mean,
Well, that's exactly what Lonnie Love did
You think?
in response to Wendy's comment about Tamar leaving the show.
oh, the real.
Yeah.
That's a
to
good
your
segue.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because, we're limited in time and it's an interesting topic.
Yeah.
Because to your point, Jasper, you're saying how you're proud of people that stand up for themselves, even if it's a losing argument on their point, they still stand by their convictions. And that's what Wendy Williams and Lonnie Love have both done because of a comment that Wendy made on air about Lonnie. And then Lonnie made a personal video saying, okay, this is really what went down. And Wendy, yeah, just so you know, this is really the accurate story.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. And that's one thing, Gloria, I mean, I wanted to ask you because, your personal life gets put out there constantly.
all the
It's
time.
out there. You don't shy away from it either. But how do you there's that fine line of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Addressing stuff without crossing over and
Yeah,
how
it
that
totally
can't be easy.
It's definitely a super fine line and one that's often crossed, because you don't want to give everybody every single thing. I love that, like Sharon does that and it is real personal, but that's just not my style. I have kids and they're
Right.
much younger than Sharon, so I have, them to protect. But yeah, my public life, I mean, my goodness, it's people find out stuff about my public life before I do. I'm like, dang, I didn't even know I was finally divorced. I'm like finding out on Twitter. I'm like, hey. So, it's tough just because you really do want to go all in and just give everybody the like, no, fuck that. This is actually what happened. And then this but
Right.
you just, sometimes you just can't. And really it's just a matter of who you're protecting. And a lot of times I do it for my, I have to remember that I have, boys and they're young,
right.
they're 7 and kids are malicious, not in any, not, to be malicious, but they're just so honest and they're just, they just speak their minds and their parents, tell them things and they Google stuff. So I always I try to be very careful about the things I say, especially about my personal life and like people in it. just because that can always backfire. And then what, my kids can read now, they're over my shoulder looking at my texts, and I'm like, oh shit. So I have to just be careful on the things that I say. So I've always kept them in mind, but I know it's really hard because a lot of times I really want to just go like, just take off the gloves and go, yes, like below the belt and, talk about everyone's mama. And it's just, I can't. So it's tough.
And like you said, even if you keep it away from your kids, other kids Google everything.
Yeah.
And other kids' parents are in the line at picking up the kids. Everything with social media now is just all it takes is one tweet and it's out there.
Yeah, and you'd be surprised who knows. Like my principal talked to me about like the whole Matt and Derek thing, and and I was like, don't you have some great papers to grade? Like, I'm like, how do you even know about this stuff? But so everyone, it's unbelievable. They're the people on their team and coaches and teachers and the lunch lady. It's really does go really far. So I have to keep that in mind too. So yeah, it's tough.
But it's that whole thing that we talk about. It's that obsession with celebrity. It's I meet accomplished people. I meet like psychiatrists and doctors and all these people that in my mind are doing this amazing work or whatever. And they'll say to me, who have you worked with famous lately? Or you know what I mean? There's it doesn't matter. There's just obsession still with celebrity. And I guess now with social media, that just makes it even worse because everybody can be a star for 5 minutes on YouTube or whatever.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I've talked to a few people who are actually very annoyed by it, just because a lot of people like on YouTube, they're Insta famous, they'll go into movies or all of a sudden you'll see them in TV shows and then it bombs or, that movie doesn't do well. And real actors and actresses are like, are you kidding me? I've worked all my entire life and I've done classes with so-and-so. I'm sure you know, Jasper, like, all of a sudden you see these YouTube people and you're like, what the fuck? What have you done? Like, and it's just,
right,
I know.
Right.
But the obsession of this, people say now, like, it's just, attention is just, it's the death of people. It's unbelievable.
Well, that segues.
Well, how
me
about
to Chewbacca mom?
Yeah,
exactly. Thank you, JW.
Yeah.
Well, she
hilarious.
wasn't really trying though.
Yeah.
It just happened for her.
Oh, she's funny.
I know, absolutely. But there's going to be a webisode now called Chewbacca.
Oh, for sure. Okay. Now it's going to be like an
She's
entire
probably
series.
already signed with William Morris.
Okay. Yeah. Remember those two kids from that scary movie that remember
Blair Witch.
Blair Witch.
Yeah, not Blair. The one after that. Those two, and they were both working like they were waiters, and then boom, they were signed overnight from Paranormal Activity. I think
Yes.
So
Paranormal Activity, exactly.
Yeah. So go Chewbacca.
Yeah, no, I mean it's
It's very interesting because I think that in addition to being the fact that she just put it out there, it was almost like an infomercial for the product. So
and they said it sold out at Kohl's, and she got a bunch of money and gift cards.
And it got the attention of J.J. Abrams. I mean, Star Wars.
I was gonna say.
And she was just on a talk show recently too, right?
Oh gosh! Look, we're like, oh Lord.
I mean, at least her kind of story you kind of pull for. I mean, she wasn't like thirsty for fame trying to get famous. I mean, I think in her case, organic. She was the real deal that just happened to be organic. Yeah.
Listen, it was really organic. Some rapper is gonna have to make
it.
Ain't nobody got time for that. So
is you finished or is you done?
So they're gonna have to do it with Chewbacca.
Yeah, that's hilarious. No, yeah, she was just that video was like infectious though. I saw it.
The laughter,
the laugh, and how she was just so entertained by her like with that. That was hilarious.
And even she admits, it's the small things. She.
Well,
that was cute.
It's the simple choice. Her video to me is so timely, you guys, with everything because you had mentioned politics before, Jasper.
We need a break.
Everything that's going on in the world. That we can all just you could show this to Trump, Obama, Clinton, Sanders, Afghanistan,
ISIS.
Ireland, everywhere on the planet, and we would laugh because it is you know.
But I
it's-
did review those YouTube comments, and they weren't that supportive, a lot of them. So it's
Really?
really interesting how people
really? Would
just
it-
Oh
tear.
yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of time. They're
Yeah.
going to start on. They'll start on this poor woman.
It
you know,
is.
they'll start
attacking
calling
her weight.
fat
Yeah,
or-
exactly. That's what it
you know,
was.
Her,
Yeah.
her,
That's crazy.
her lack
Yeah.
of makeup. Or
They're
you know,
jealous.
it's like-
They're jealous that they got what? How many?
130 million views.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
That thing was, and it was, and she does remind me of what's her name's mom? What's the little pageant girl's mom?
Oh, was that
yeah,
Honey Boo Boo's
Honey
mom?
Boo
Honey
Boo's
Boo Boo.
mom.
Mama
I thought-
June?
That's what I thought it
Mama
was
June.
at first. I was like,
Oh.
what is she have going on? But and but it was so cute. They're probably just mad because they've spent all this time trying to be
Right.
famous, and here she is just living life.
Right.
Well, yeah. Well, Gloria, who is the woman, the British woman who's the singer, and she was homely, and she
yes.
became the big star. It's
Oh yes,
and she became that sensation from her fabulous voice, but she didn't.
Susan Boyle. Susan.
Oh yes,
Oh
exactly.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that in a parallel kind of way.
Only she
Sure.
went
And
on
it-
to break records. I
Yeah.
mean, not just YouTube records, but I mean records of
But
of
she
industry
also
records.
like recently had a nervous breakdown. I mean, I think
It's a lot to
sadly,
handle. Yeah.
I think sadly she kind of has Asperger's, or she's on a
no.
Yeah,
spectrum of
on spectrum.
autism
Yeah.
or something.
Mhm.
So, but that, I mean, she had that amazing voice that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently she just lost her shit in line at Heathrow Airport. Or
Oh my
something.
what happened?
Yeah,
I
it
don't
was-
know. She went batshit crazy at the airport. in
Jasper,
London.
don't hold
They
back.
they had to like taser her or something.
No,
to the ground.
Oh, they did
no
not.
way.
Taser her.
Jasper Boyle. They had a taser.
I mean, yeah, she went crazy. She was, I mean, she still lives with like her 5 cats, and I mean, so now now that's a reality show I would watch. I would watch her just getting up every day, feeding her cats
God. That shit is hilarious.
or whatever.
Oh God.
But
Oh,
speaking
shit,
of,
that was
so
funny.
speaking of Ratchet, no, did you guys see the Billboard Music Awards this weekend?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Look, we're like, yeah.
Everyone's like, yeah,
Yeah.
we did. It was kind of
Well,
Well,
even
yeah.
BET saw the Billboard Music Awards, because if you saw the promo that they ran after, they said, "Yes, we saw it, and don't worry, we got you covered."
They were like,
We
yeah,
got you.
sorry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I don't know. I feel like award shows are kind of going downhill a little bit.
Yeah.
Like when they
There's
had
too many of them, I think.
Yeah, and I feel it's
Dilutes.
just I want more performances. I don't want a lot of the like dry whack, jokes between co-hosts who don't know each other. Like it's just it's a lot.
And a lot of them were lip syncing this time. I know that they
Yes.
were doing a combination of singing over their voice,
Yeah.
but a lot of them were lip syncing while they were dancing, which is just, for Billboard,
So
I guess it's common.
Milli Vanilli, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the whole Prince tribute, which is, I mean, it was one of those things where part of me, look, I mean, I give Madonna props for doing it, first of all, because it's one of those where she was going to be butchered
Regardless. Yeah.
no matter what. But I still found it odd. It's like, couldn't we get Bruno Mars? I know he's of a different generation,
But
and they were
still,
trying to get someone, but I just felt like, and then all of a sudden, like, poor Stevie Wonder just came wandering off from the side, like he had just walked, like he
was
wasn't
like
even
kind of
supposed to be
lost.
there.
Yeah, he was like trying to find his seat, and he's like, "Oh, hey."
And Madonna grabbed him like, "Help me,
Right.
help me sing a note here or something." It was just so badly produced. I
Well,
don't know. I just didn't. Yeah.
Well, as our girl Wendy Williams said, Madonna is part of the Trinity of Michael Jackson and Prince. So that's for that reason it was appropriate that she pay homage to Prince.
I think that maybe they would have
Okay.
been a little better if she would have done an up-tempo song. It was a little
Yeah.
too drawn out with slow. I know it's a tribute, but still celebrate the happy moments too, not just the fact that we lost him.
Yeah.
Or make it, or do like a medley of them. Like do several of them.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you
like
medley
have
would've
Lady
been
Gaga
better.
did for
David Bowie.
Thank you.
Yeah.
She
Exactly.
She just did like a whole array of his songs. That was pretty awesome. Yeah, they could
Yeah.
have done. I think they just could have done a better job.
I
overall.
thought it was.
Go ahead.
I thought it was interesting too. I thought it was interesting. They started the show with Britney Spears, who at one point when
Britney
she
freaking
first came out was sort of called the younger Madonna. in
Right.
the day, so she was sort of they opened with her, and then who I thought actually looked amazing. I don't know. I mean, she can't sing, so who cares? But I mean, no, I mean she's she's a lip syncer anyway. I wasn't expecting vocals, but she looked amazing. But then I thought it was interesting how then they sort of closed it out with the Madonna, who, in many ways was sort of a Britney at one time, known more for a performance, not really a singer. Is
Right.
what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess some people may think she can sing, but she certainly can't act.
Well,
But
everyone
that's
seems to
besides
be
the-
singing Sinead O'Connor's song that Prince wrote for her, which is very interesting. You don't see any Sinead singing it at all because now you got the controversy with her being, having an episode, mental episode.
Well, she wandered away too, wasn't
Yeah,
she? They couldn't find her the other day
Oh,
Yeah.
hell.
because
What's going on?
she's bipolar or something. It's
Yeah.
it's sad. Boy George was on. I'm a huge Boy George fan, but he was on Wendy today also talking about the difference in how much he appreciates what he has now at 50 something as opposed to when he started out at 19 or 20. With age comes some of the wisdom of being able to appreciate what you have. And of course, if you add sort of mental illness on top of that, or going back to Sinead O'Connor,
Yeah.
because she was so hot at one time and number one, and I don't know what it is about this business. I know some people say they don't think that it's there's more cases of mental illness, and maybe there isn't. It's just because it's more magnified because they're celebrities. But I
Right.
don't know. It seems to be like that. There's that old adage that you have to be really crazy to be a good performer, or you've got to be really fucked up to be a great actress or a great actor. But then I always think, well, Meryl Streep seems pretty normal,
Right? She's awesome.
And
I think it's certain ones that don't drink the
and
Kool-Aid.
she's awesome.
Yeah.
Have enough strength not to drink
Right.
the Kool-Aid. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's a metaphor for many
Gloria,
things.
let's talk about what.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to talk to Gloria about what all you have going on. So you're besides, of course, the huge hit of Basketball Wives, you're doing it's Entertainment Confidential. Is that the name of the interview show that you're doing?
Oh yeah, I did that with the few of the comedians. Last year on BET and Centric. But this year I have going on. It's called Sports Blender. It's a sports show on Awestruck TV. And it's primarily just a show, obviously, about the highlights and what's going on with sports, but also for those who aren't really sports savvy. So I kind of break down some of the, I guess, difficult terms in, sports or basketball, football. So I'm excited about that. And then my boys have a clothing line coming out called Kelly Michael this fall. So that's cool.
Oh, how great.
Yeah, I'm excited. They're so funny. They can't stand it. They're like, Mommy, why do we need a clothing line? I'm like, relax and try this on.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's
Hey,
cool.
Gloria, I
Yeah,
wanted to
babe.
ask you a question, being a mother of two boys.
Yeah.
Two youngster boys. I don't know if you had heard this controversy with Chris Brown and the mother of his child, who's 2 years old, Nia. She posted this provocative picture of the girl in leotards in a dance outfit, but the child is sitting in a rather provocative position. And Chris had a problem with it. And Nia was like, get over it. She's a girl taking dance class, so the point that Wendy, this was highlighted on Wendy's show, with technology and the internet being as vast as it is, there's so many more predators out there. So to show your child in that kind of light only triggers those people that might want to show malice.
Right.
So, and it's such a fine, and here they both are, Chris Brown and Nia, both parents. And like you had mentioned earlier, it is a fine line, what you say, what you don't tell them, how they see you react to things. And and it must just be devilishly hard, especially in these days and times, you know. So I was just wondering if you had heard about that.
And how do you protect? Do you make a point of not putting their pictures out there, or you know what I mean? How do you handle that whole thing?
Yeah. And I actually can relate to Nia because when the boys were younger, they were jumping on their bed and they just had on their underwear, I think. And they had something on top of their head, something silly, like, like a shoe or something kind of goofy. And I took a picture and I posted it on Instagram. This was a few years ago. And I mean, I got ripped. People were like, why would you do that? And I thought it was so cute because here they are just jumping on the bed, like being goofy. And I was like,
Right.
So I feel like kind of like Nia coming from like, you're like, what is the problem? She's a young girl in a leotard. And I haven't seen the picture, but I can't imagine it being too crazy. I mean, she's only 2, so I don't think she's like twerking.
No.
So you know what I mean? So it was probably very innocent in terms of, a dance class, just in terms of like my 2 boys being goofy on jumping on the bed. But yeah, it's weird how that just doesn't cross your mind until people bring it to your attention. And I immediately took down the picture, but I was like, wow, I really have to be, like aware of everything. And they have an Instagram page, the boys do, and I run it. So, and I'm I feel like, okay, as long as I'm the one putting out, what I want people to see or, kind of just enjoying their picture. So I have to be very, very, very aware of the background or what they're wearing. Or, one time the kids threw up a 3-pointer like how they do in basketball. And people were like, Illuminati, and I was like,
wow.
really? So it was
Wow.
it's so crazy how you really have to pay attention. And I was like, they're 5 guys. I
Yeah.
don't really think, so it was just it's crazy.
Thank you for addressing that. You really spoke on it well for every parent out there, but especially a parent who's in the limelight like you are.
We only have about 3 minutes, guys.
What?
Yeah,
Well,
actually,
yeah, no,
2
and
minutes.
thank you, Gloria. And I wanted to also, send you all of our best for what you're going through in the press right now.
Thanks,
Bottom
guys.
line is, congratulations on your
Thanks.
relationship. That everything
Thank you.
that everything is good and it's going great.
It is.
And congrats on the show, of course, and on all the other stuff coming out, the clothing line with the kids.
Oh, thank
and
you.
we need to have you come back.
I
and
know.
we
My
could
gosh.
talk forever.
I
This
could
is
have. I'm
fantastic.
sorry. I really am a talker. So I'm sorry, guys. I probably took
No,
No, you
you
did
did
great. No.
Gloria, you're the guest.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. No, I
Yeah.
really had a great time. Thank you so much, it's for your blessings, and I really look forward to coming back, and we could really, dive into some really cool topics. So,
Okay,
That would be
excellent.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Ralph Cole Jr., thank you so much as always.
Jasper,
and
you're welcome. JW,
we'll be-
thank you.
yes, Dominic and Dara, big love and kisses, and everyone. We will be back next week, same time, same place. You've been listening to One on One with Jasper Cole. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye-bye, Planet Earth.
so sweet.
Thanks for checking out One on One with Jasper Cole. Check out past episodes and get the latest as they're released. Subscribe today on iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube.